far as how his mind works, that's a very, very good question. I mean, how can you know anybody's mind? There are people who do make a study of, let's say, special or extraordinary minds, like David Cronenberg's, and I do know a couple of people. One of whom is who's here, who made quite a study of it. I don't know if they've reached definite conclusions about the way his mind works, but I think they have some very strongly held opinions and a certain amount of expertise on the matter. And I mean, I could ask them to maybe join us and just, to try to answer that a little bit. I mean, I don't feel comfortable talking about how his mind works.
Maybe
Could I invite him just for
Sure,
a moment?
why not? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm curious.
If you'd like to come out and maybe give us a hand, that'd be great.
I was in Paris 10 minutes ago. Some weird thing that TIFF has enabled, some transport. I actually have no idea how my mind works, of course. I'm the last person you should ask.
Maybe that's just as well.
But, I must say, I looked at Crash for the first time in about 20 years last week because the producer, Jeremy Thomas, is doing a restoration of it. It's a little weird to be alive and have your films being restored. So I watched it on my computer and I laughed through the whole thing. I really did. I thought, these people are crazy. And then all they think about is sex and car crashes. What is this? I don't know if you had the same response.
Well, one thing that what I thought about, when I watched it again, in preparation for being here today, I was thinking, well, essentially, and I'm sure this has been said, lots has been said about the movie, but that, intimacy, pleasure, communication, sex can be anything. That's what I get from.
You're coming over tomorrow.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Good. After dinner, before dinner,
during dinner.
There we go.
But that could be anything, right? And I think that maybe I'm thinking about the controversy or the censorship, in some places in Britain and other places, and the stir that it caused. The fact that I said before the movie started, I said one of the things I like about the way you direct movies is that you're not telling people what to think, and you certainly don't with this movie. You offer a world, a way of life, a behavior, and in this one, when I say sex can be anything, that's what I get from it. It could be anything. Pleasure, intimate connection, communication or lack of communication. It can be anything. And maybe for some people, in some institutions, maybe that's makes them nervous that there are no moral guidelines. There's no absolutes in terms of what sex is or what pleasure is.
Well, when Jeremy Thomas proposed the novel, J.G. Ballard's novel, to me, and I started to read it, and after about 20 pages, I had to put it down because I found it quite repellent, actually, and very disturbing. And I said, no, Jeremy, I can't read it. And then eventually I did read it, and it's written in a very cold, sort of medical, clinical kind of way, which is, once you accept that, is quite extraordinary. And then, but I still thought, how could I can't see myself making this into a movie at all. And then...
Did you feel that way about Naked Lunch?
No, that was different, quite different, because Naked Lunch is funny, You know, there's a lot of humor in it. The Ballard's novel had zero humor and zero like self-awareness. It was just what it was, and it had a weird medical sensuality. It was all described in medical terms. You know, the parts of the body and the sex was just described as almost as a doctor would describe it, who was, you know, so it was very unsettling in many ways. And then eventually, I was with Jeremy at some film festival. It could have even been here, I can't remember. And then I said, yeah, we should really do Crash. And I totally surprised myself by that. I don't know what was going on in my life at the time. I don't know.
Came out of your mouth and you said, "Who said it?"
But I did have a Ferrari, I think, at the time. But that might have had something to do with it. So, but in fact, that's a funny thing, because somebody said to me, you know, yeah, you're a car guy, you've raced cars and motorcycles, so of course you would like this. And I said, no, absolutely not. This is an anti-hedonistic view of cars and the beauty of cars and the sensuality of cars, and it's the antithesis of that. It's actually, you know, a horrible rendering of what a car is. And has its subversive reality, you know, sort of underneath the other reality of what cars are. And that was another thing that Ballard did, was the way that cars were described was also very cold and very, you know, I mean, you have the John F. Kennedy assassination, Lincoln, you know, convertible. I mean, that's what the car was to him. It was so not a car movie for car people, I think watching my own movie, though, I did think that there was a sensuality in it that is not in the novel. I was trying to do the novel, but things change, things mutate, and Peter Suschitzky's lighting was very sensual and beautiful, and some of the movement of the cars, the choreography of it was kind of beautiful, really. The movement through space and so on. And
Let me ask you a